السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. I'm going to start about explaining about Rouhani. There's a lot of misconceptions about Rouhani which I want to talk about and how are they about. When we talk about Rohani, some people say they are spirits, some people say they are jinns, some others say they are Korean. Who actually are they? First of all, when we say Rohani, Rohani actually signifies or mean a pure spirit or a pure soul, a pure spirit. So Rohani may mean pure, something spiritually pure. So Rouhani, well, let's go to the context of Rouhani, context of genes or whatever it is. So when we say Rouhani, they are actually genes. When someone says Rouhani is not a gene, it's something that no. Rouhani is actually genes. Yes. So Rouhani is actually genes. So for example, if a human being, if a human being is someone who worship Allah so much, so good that they are very closer to Allah. That person, even a human being, can be called a Rouhani because he has a pure soul, he has a pure spirit in him. Yes, his spirit in him is a Rouhani. Yes, he's pure. Yes, through the worship of Allah and the zikr of Allah. So, in the context of jinn, Rouhani are genes. Actually, genes. They are not spirits. They are not anything, but they are genes who have a very higher vibration. Which kind of vibration? Let's say, for example, a jinn tend to worship Allah his entire life, worshiping Allah so much, the jinn will quickly become a Rouhani. Yes. You know, whenever we recite dua, we read the Quran, we do zikr, there is a kind of spiritual light which illuminates through our souls, which illuminates our hearts. You see that light of Allah, the nur of Allah, that's what makes a jinn a rawhani. That's what makes a jinn a rawhani. So, for example, when you get a jinn who is constantly in worship, always praying salat, always praying salat, always praying salat, always praying salat, a jinn who never misses salat, prays extra salat, that jinn will become a rawhani quickly. It depends the time. Some may take 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to even become a Rohan. Most of the genes. It depends on the level of worship they do. So you see when they worship Allah in Rukia, whenever we get a jinn, a shayateen, we are able to recite Quran on him and he becomes a Muslim. And when we ask him to recite the zikr, any zikr of the Quran, anything like La ilaha illallah, he recites it La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, and ask him what does he see on his body. He will tell you light. Light is is glowing on his skin, on his body. So you see that light, that nur of Allah, which is glowing out of his zikr that he's saying, La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. That's where they adopt this kind of worship. So you see some Rawhanis, they are Rawhanis of La ilaha illallah. Rawhanis of La ilaha illallah. They recite La ilaha illallah to eternity. Yes, till the day they die. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha. We have Rawhanis of La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. They recite La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. They recite it till when they don't even stop it. They recite it to eternity. So if there are not only about zikr, but only this one is also about reciting the Quran. There are some rawhanis, they are attached to some Quranic chapters. They recite those Quranic chapters over and over and over and over non-stop. For example, Surah Nur, Surah Yasin, Surah Al-Waqiah, Surah Al-Rahman, a whole lot. Every surah has a rawhaniyat. Every surah in the Quran has a rawhaniyat. Rawhaniyat, Jesus will recite it non-stop. So when you get this rawhaniyat reciting La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah during recitation, and you ask him from today onwards, you recite La ilaha illallah non-stop. Recite it non-stop. You see the jinn will recite it almost every day, non-stop, 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 reciting it almost every day. That jinn will become a rawhaniyat very easy. Will become a rawhani very, very easy. Yes. So you see, out of the zikr that they do, they glow, their bodies glow in such a way that you don't even see them. You see light. Yes, you see light. You think they are angels, but actually they are not angels. They are the armies of the sky. So when a jinn reaches such a level of getting that light, that amount of light glowing in such a way that he can't even see everything, he is glowing so much that his body is invisible. You know, genes, we can't see their body, they can change in shape or yes. So when this gene is glowing, super glowing, you see it as something like a spirit or yes, or a gene. So they are sorry, angel, but they are not actually angels. They are genes who have mastered the recitation of Ezekiel for a very longer period of time to attain such station, such spiritual state. So, first of all, when you see Rawhaniyat, we have different type of Rawhaniyat.